Jackson Madden with Team on the Grind, and this last weekend we ended up going to Top Cut for their Ghost Black Rose event. We ended up getting top 4. We ended up losing to the winner, who was playing Frog Monarch, and for once in our life we weren't playing Blizzard Dragon Turbo. The reason why I switched decks is because recently I have not been performing the way I want to be with that deck, at least at the local level, and it's just not... It just has a lot of bad matchups, and when you're going to an event and you expect a lot of Rogue instead of playing against the meta, the deck wasn't made to beat Rogue. I would have to test a lot against Rogue, and I just didn't want to do a lot of testing for a lot of decks that I don't expect at major events. And for this event, I was expecting a lot of Rogue, and I did play a lot of Rogue players or decks that were playing meta, but in a very roguish way, and playing a lot of tech cards that the Blizzard Dragon Turbo deck would not be ready for. We ended up playing Gladiator Beasts. I know it's gotten real popular with it just winning RBT New York, but we were playing a very interesting version. Shoutouts I like to give is Team on the Grind. I am the owner of the team, and the Grind TCG. Please check out our TCG player account. The link will be in the pinned comment below and this description. Please check us out. We have a lot of deck profiles. We have Swagger's deck profile. We have HT19's deck profile. And we even have a couple from an X-Saber player. Some other shoutouts, just check out our YouTube, check out our TCG player. It really helps out us be able to give you more great content and all that. Let's get to the deck. We played one Bestiary, one Darius. I don't think the second one is necessary. It's not that great, and I don't even summon a lot because I'd rather summon out a different monster, which I think is slightly better overall. One more Milo. I hate drawing this card. I draw it a lot, and it's just like, I'd rather always be in deck. We play double Ready Ari. I think 2 is absolutely mandatory with the meta being any frog variant and Vayu. Being able to just guarantee that, like, there was one time where I tagged out a Gazaris to summon 2 of these, banish their Vayu and banish like their Plague, and they were just not expecting double banish. And the card is so good, and it also gets under Bottomless. We played double Aquari, kind of standard, kind of our beat stick, and just allows us to push for damage. And the reason why I don't summon Darius a lot is I play triple Quest. Absolutely love this card. The deck, how I've theorized it as this is your best GB besides Bestiary, because Bestiary is insane. There's a reason why it's limited. And this card is just so good, adding back War Chariot, adding back a name, guaranteeing that, like, if you Darius back like a big monster and they out the Darius, this one gets shuffled in the deck, while this allows you to add it back to hand and guarantee that next turn that you will have a name even if they clear a board. This card is so, so good. And sometimes if you summon this all the time, they'll think you're playing Icarus attack. I am not playing that card as of right now. I might end up in the future, but right now, like, if you summon this all the time, they'll just think you're playing Icarus attack and play around it. That's it for the monster count. As you can see, we're playing 3, 5, 7, 10 monsters. We're playing triple Proving Ground too. This card is absolutely insane, but like, I love the low monster count list. There are a few games to where I was just like any monster and I win the game, and I would go like 4 or 5 turns without drawing a monster. But I'd rather have that than opening hand, see 4 monsters, no defense, and just lose the game on the spot. Well, if you just roll a low monster count, you can play around it usually and just like play defensively and just get you, and it just gets you there. And then for the 24 other cards, we're playing triple Upstart. I see these as other monsters or other back row, and it just allows you to deck thin and get you to cards that you really need to get to. And generally, this deck is never winning by O.T.G, like ever. So the 1,000 life points is not as important, and I'd rather play this over Legacy or Jar because I'd rather draw the War Chariot, which I am indeed playing, if I can get to it, triple War Chariot. I want to see this card turn 1 because this against Frogs or Vayu or like a lot of other decks is just so good to be able to see it turn 1. Because if you can see this plus any GB is just so good because like there's so many turn 1 plays that you can just stop. And I just want to be able to see more cards in my deck. Then for the rest of the deck, we're playing triple Book of Moon. It's really good defensively, offensively. My friend behind the camera is here's deck. It allows you can just set a monster and it allows you to get a free tag and allows you to play offensively with it. Because there are many times where like they would have like a Stardust or something else that had like a big attack and big defense on board, and I could just summon a GB, attack, battle step, Book of Moon, book the monster, and it just allows you to get a free tag. And this card's so good offensively and a lot of times defensively, because like a lot of times if I have this and I have a different GB on board, let's say this, I'll tag into Bestiary, pop their back row, let them attempt to bottomless it, chain Book of Moon, then main phase 2, you can tag into Gazaris and just pop their whole board. It's so good, and it just allows you to play through a lot of things. I'm playing Double Burden of the Mighty. Absolutely love this card. Your worst matchups are Blackwing and Hero Beat. And this card just allows most of your monsters to beat over Alias, beat over Stratos, beat over like Bora, Shura. Like if they go Whirlwind, normal Bora, their only search target with this is Vayu or Mistral if they play it. But generally it's just Vayu because it shrinks Bora automatically to 13 and they can't search Blizzard, Gale, Kalut. They can't search any of that. They have to search Vayu. And I've caught a lot of Blackwing players off guard where they'll be like, normal Shura, effective search. I'm like, sure, bud. And then they'll pick up a Kalut and I'm like, you can't search that. Your attack's 14. And then they're like, oh. I'm like, yeah. You gotta search for something lower. And it just allows you to like beat over their monsters because it is actually a problem to deal with like large attack monsters. Like I put Armed Wings to 17 and like it allows Aquar to beat over it. Like Absolute Zero becomes a 1700 beater and it just allows you to attack over like big monsters, which this deck has a problem with. I made one D-Fissure. Don't think I really saw it all day. No, I saw it one game. I ended up it already won me the game that I was already winning, but the card's really good and it allows you to like, against fairies it can't Orange Light, against Blackwings it can't Kalut, like all the hand traps can't be activated while this is face up and it just allows you to push. Also against like a lot of graveyard decks, it just banishes their monsters where they're not expecting it. One My Body, absolutely love this card. A lot of times this deck loses to like normal summon a GB, bottomless. And like you'll just lose because you'll run out of monsters while this allows you to protect it. I play triple Wabaku. The amount of times where like I'll normal a GB, they'll bottomless. I'll Book of Moon and set it and they're like, cool, now I can clear the GB. They all attack into it and I could just Wabaku, flip up the monster and end a battle phase, tag out. It's so good. You can play proactively, reactively. It stops you from getting O.T.G'd. Like, it's just so good. And like I've had it where I've normal GB attacking their big monster, flipped Wabaku, and then you get a free tag off it, and it's just so good. Double Trapstarn card is so good. It allows you to play around Oppression. As you see, I don't play Heavy or MST, and this is my out for Oppression, at least game 1. The card's so good, it allows you to just push through all back row, and like, unlike a lot of other decks, you can just pop all the back row with like Bestiary and Gazars, so it allows you to just play through back row really well. Double D Prison, double Bottomless, and then like the other two like basically your staples. They're all really good. And then I'm actually playing Torrential Tribute. A lot of times this deck just loses to getting out aggroed, and like you just gotta have a fallback safe. And then I play Double Starlight Road. Card's really good. It allows you to set 5 back row very safely because you have Judgment, Double Starlight Road to just like set 5 back row and just not lose to Heavy, Black Rose, Icarus attacks, anything like that. For the extra, does not matter. These matter because you play Double Starlight Road. I'm playing triple Chimera Tech. I am siding Cyber Dragon, but like the extra deck's kind of irrelevant. I'm playing 2 Heraclenos. I only have 2 Legendary Collection First Eds. And then triple Gazars. I don't think the third one has ever came up for me, but the second one definitely has. The card is so good. And then for the side deck, we are siding the one-hit Promise for Blackwing and Hero Beat and sometimes Vayu, just because you need to be able to Proving Ground for a monster that can't be attacked over by like a Shura, or like being able to tag into a 24 defender sometimes in those matchups is really good. And like it allows you to like, against Blackwings, usually just save off a couple attacks. We side Double D Crow, card's really good. I know that we're playing D-Fissure, Ready Ari and all that, but sometimes turn 1 just being able to stop plays, or like if they get rid of stuff, or just like proactive stuff, it's just a really good card. The double Cyber Dragon, mainly for Machina and Hero Beat, and sometimes Blackwing's going second. Card's just good, it's a big monster, and sometimes this deck has a problem with big monsters. Also, this with Burden just allows you to attack over so many things, because so many people don't expect like their monsters to get like very small. Second D-Fissure, Vayu, Frogs, Quick Draw, Amaryllis, card's just so good. Heavy MST, cards come in so many matchups, but like I don't want it for like Frog. There's just so many matchups where this is not great game 1, or sometimes you only need it when you're going second. Double Smashing, card is absolutely insane. Just allowing you to out monsters that are normally big, or like Titanials, is like so good. 1/7 Tools, absolutely love this card, it's so good. 1 Lightning Prison Mirror, I didn't play any light decks, but like my locals have swarmed with it, and I was expecting Rogue at this event because it was the same weekend as RBT New York, so I was expecting a lot more Rogue decks, and there was a lot of Rogue. And then triple Masker Restrict for Frogs. That's about it. Card's absolutely insane. Our matchups were Quick Draw. We went 2-1. It was against one of our friends. Round 2, we went against Blackwings. Blackwing Goat Good Stuff is how he described it. We 2-0'd him. He was playing like Doomcal, Breaker. It was a very interesting list. He wasn't maining Heavy Storm because he said that at his locals, a lot of people were playing Fairies and Lightsworns, which don't normally play a lot of back row. So that's why I wasn't maining Heavy. Round 3, we went against one of our good friends, Gary. We got 1-2'd. He played very well, and there was a couple times where I misplayed pretty bad, but insane player. Ended up going undefeated in Swiss. Great dude, great player. Round 4, we went against Blackwings. We 2-0'd him. I feel like I played very well, and that was able to allow me to win that matchup. Round 5, we played the mirror match. At this 28-man event, there were 6 or 7 GB players there. I was not expecting more than me to be playing GBs there, and there were 5 to 7 players there playing GBs. I got 2-0 clapped. I misplayed so bad against him. Like, our match was like 8-9 minutes long. I have not played worse in my life. Top 8, we played against a Vayu Turbo player, Gary, that we lost to in round 3. I 2-0'd him. Reddy already put in a lot of work. DD Crow put in a lot of work, and we just were able to keep the advantage even under oppression. And then in top 4, we ended up losing to Pure Frog Monarch. We kind of played a little bit bad a couple of the times, and then also there was a streak where for 4 or 5 turns in a row, I didn't draw a monster, and he just punched me down with Swap Frog. Deck performed very well. I wish I had performed as well as the deck did, but definitely the deck carried me for this event, and I just hope to do better. I've already thought of upgrades that I want to do, and you guys will see that in the next deck profile. Can't wait for that, and see you guys later.